Nina Carmichael, and we make these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you need that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn the biggest mindset shift that you need to make to succeed. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Believe that you are amazing.
What you believe about yourself is the only thing that matters. At the end of the day, no matter how much outside affirmations you get or other people telling you that you're amazing, if you don't believe in your heart that you are amazing, none of that will last. Like, have you ever gone to an event, or you ever made a video or created something, or you're hanging out with a friend and they tell you how amazing you are, and that feels good, right? Like the external affirmations and validation feels great, but then it fades. That stuff doesn't last. You don't have somebody being a cheerleader for you every day, showing up in your bedroom saying, hooray, go do this, you're amazing, right? We don't have that. You have to be that for yourself. If you're constantly only getting your value as a human being from other people when they tell you that you're amazing, you're never gonna love your life. You're never gonna love yourself. It has to come from you. It has to come from you telling yourself and you believing that you are amazing. Well, okay, so that's a lot of words. How do you actually go off and do it? So I think for me, this is why I believe that lack of belief is the world's #1 problem. You know, I can go and meet somebody and fill them full of belief for a moment, but if they still don't believe in themselves, and they're going home back to a life that they had before because they don't believe in themselves enough. And so you have to design habits and routines and systems and schedules to slowly shift your belief in yourself forward every single day. And a good chunk of that is what you say about yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you say? When you think about yourself, what do you say? A lot of the stuff that we say about ourselves, we wouldn't say to our worst enemies. It's rough. I actually think it's great to be your own worst critic. I think it's great. Honestly, I think for a lot of people, we're not hard enough on ourselves. Let me stick with me for a minute. We're not hard enough on ourselves because in order to get to where you want to go, you actually need to push yourself more. The problem is why we can't do it is we don't love ourselves enough. We're not our biggest cheerleader enough. You have to balance those two things. We're very hard on ourselves, but because there's no self-love, we're not cheering ourselves on enough, we're not our biggest cheerleader, you can't handle it. Most people are already at the breaking point, you know, like I'm sitting here in a parking lot, these, you know, those, I guess it's kind of blurry, you can't really see them, but people hate their lives. They're barely hanging on. Most people are barely hanging on. We're barely hanging on to what we're doing. We can post all these great things on Instagram or wherever and make it look like we're enjoying our life, but most people are barely hanging on. The people who are judging you for your life and telling you that you suck hate their own lives. They are barely hanging on. So how do we get through it? Well, yes, we can be harder on ourselves, but we need to balance that with more self-love. You have to remind yourself of why you're great, what you're proud of, what you're grateful for. And it has to be consistent. Otherwise, you'll never get to where you want to go. And when you love yourself more, that actually allows you to be harder on yourself. When you love yourself more and you actually feel it, you can push yourself harder. You can be more demanding of yourself because it's not going to push you over the edge because you're not tying your self-worth to you accomplishing that thing. And when you don't accomplish it, you feel like a loser. It's starting from a place of I'm amazing that allows you to be way harder on yourself. When I go to events, a YouTube event, for example, if I'm talking about anything entrepreneurship or YouTube related, I'm going in thinking I'm kick-ass. And because I feel that, I don't need to say that. Like a lot of times we feel like we need to say that because it's masking an insecurity, right? It's like those people who, we've seen those memes where when people make a little bit of money, they've got all these chains and everything, but then the people who are ultra rich, who have all the money, you look even Jay-Z, like early Jay-Z, you know, he's got all his chains and everything, and now he's like, doesn't care. He's walking around in a t-shirt and some jeans because he doesn't need to front, because he's just so self-confident now that it doesn't matter. Now it's actually expression instead of masking an insecurity. Most of us are just masking insecurities instead of actually being self-confident. And so when I'm going to an event, if I'm talking about YouTube, I'm walking in feeling amazing, and I don't need to walk around and say, hey, look at me. And it's actually the opposite. I can go up and say, hey, where do I suck? It's my favorite question to ask. Why do I suck? Where do I suck? Can you point it out? If I can find one person to tell me where I suck at something, how my videos suck, my thumbnails suck, I don't believe that they suck, right? I think they're amazing. But because I think they're so amazing, it allows me to go a lot harder on myself. And so people will give their honest opinion and say, hey, here's how I think it could be better. And so I think we need to do that more in our lives. We need to cheer ourselves up more. We need to cheer ourselves on more. So how do we do it? Let me share some practical tips for you to execute. Number 1, music in the morning. Every morning, one of the most important things that I do is I put music on. And it's music that makes me move, makes me dance, there's some songs that if they came on, you would have to move. Right? It doesn't mean that you're up and like dancing through the whole house, going crazy in your underwear first thing in the morning, but something that even if it's just making your head bob, there are songs that if they came on would make your head bob, and you'd probably be singing, maybe not out loud, but singing under your breath, humming a tune along, and be intentional with the lyrics, because if we're singing out lyrics that are negative, that has a lasting impact. But if you're singing out lyrics that are positive, that also has a lasting impact. So be intentional with music that you put on every day. First, start your day with music. It's the fastest way to change your state, to go from feeling low and tired and just what day is it? What am I doing? I wake up every day like, what day is it? What am I doing today? But I demand excellence, and that starts with music, because I don't want to spend a lot of time trying to get into the right state of mind. I can command it whenever I want just by putting on the right song. So be intentional with your music and the lyrics being positive. 2, connect to the work that you're doing and how meaningful it is. So the next thing I'll do is I'll take the dogs out, and then I'll go for what I call a believe walk. And this is probably the most important part of my morning routine, is I go for a believe walk. And it's a minimum of 20 minutes and it's a maximum of an hour. And I'll go for a walk by myself with 20 pounds on my back. I'll go rucking. I'll walk to Tim Hortons usually, get a coffee. This costs $2, $2 something. So if I only had, what's the best money I spend every year? Well, it's the $700 of going on my believe walk and getting a coffee every morning. And I'm thinking about what's my intention for the day, and I'm thinking about what I want to accomplish today, and the lives that I want to serve, and the people I want to help, and what I'm about to do today. And it's a mini celebration where most of the time we wake up like an accident, right? You wake up, you're probably late for something, you immediately look at your phone. What's on your phone? It's other people's demands for your time, other people's emergencies of what they think you should do with your schedule today, right? That's what's in your phone. All the DMs and the emails and the texts and the missed calls and it's all other people's agenda for your time. That is not an intentional life. We wake up like an accident and start falling into what other people want us to do today. That's not what you need to do, and you need to protect your time. So the morning, having a believe walk for me, if you want to go on your own, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, that's really just a feel thing too. I don't book anything until 10:30 at the earliest in my calendar. Most of my meetings would be 11. First meeting would be 11. Movement Makers and Brandlytics, I'll start at 10:30. And before that, there's nothing officially planned or scheduled, so that it gives my morning free to do whatever I want to do. And so if I want to go for an hour-long believe walk instead of 20 minutes, I can do that because I'm thinking, because I'm brainstorming, because I'm going through an idea. I treat that as walking meditation. If you like to meditate. I mean, it's the same thing. I just find meditation doesn't really help me that much. I like something a little more active, so I go for my belief walks. Do those two things. Put on a playlist, put on music every morning with lyrics that inspire you, and then go for a belief walk. 20 minutes to think about what you want to do today, what you want to accomplish, how you want to spend your time, where you want to be intentional, so you can start living the life that you want to live. Because the only thing that matters is how you feel about yourself. Are you proud of you today? Are you happy with what you've done today? Are you joyful in how you showed up for you today? And yes, we ultimately want to serve and help others, but the only thing that matters is how you feel about yourself. So we can stop relying on external validation and somebody else's words of affirmation for us to feel worthy, and flip it to say, I am worthy. I am amazing. I can do great things. And when you can shift into that energy, you will do great things.
Rule number 2, grow and improve.
Self-improvement is the answer to whatever obstacle is staring you in the face right now. The only difference between you and greatness is the willingness to grow and improve. It's not talent, it's not smarts, it's the willingness to improve yourself. The difference between you and Tony Robbins is he has spent more time constantly improving himself than most people on the planet. Here's a guy who had multiple fathers growing up, had an abusive mother who at 17 he had to run away from home so he could become a janitor and never go to college. He then decided to be a success. He read 700 books in 7 years. He studied under mentors like Jim Rohn, and today he's the founder or owner of companies with over $6 billion in annual revenue. If Tony Robbins can go from being an abused janitor with no college education to being one of the most influential people in the world, why can't you? The difference is he made the investment to constantly improve himself, and you haven't yet at that level. So I look at my channel as an example, my YouTube channel, and I've learned so much over the past number of years in confidence, in growth, in abilities, in skills, by consuming the content, because I love the top 10 series and the Mentor Me series and the Espresso series. I make them for me, and then I share them with you, and thankfully you guys like them too, and I can build a business off of it and keep pumping out more content. But it helps me. I've grown, I've learned. And one of the biggest moments that helped me realize how much I've learned is when I signed a 3-year deal with Sage. I was working with Stephen Kelly, who is the CEO, and every month we'd be on a call. We'd be doing a hangout on my YouTube channel, answering questions from people. And I was driving with my dad, and I remember him asking me, how do you get the confidence to be on a call with Stephen Kelly and be seen as his equal all the time? And he wasn't asking me to put me down. He was asking me in genuine awe of, he was so happy for me that I was playing a bigger game. And it dawned on me that he was right. The Evan of 5 years ago wouldn't have been able to do that. The Evan of 5 years ago would have felt less than. The Evan of 5 years ago would have said, there's no way I'm capable of doing that. And then when I'd signed the deal, I felt like, it's great. I love Stephen, he's amazing, but I feel like I'm hanging out with Oprah and Kanye and Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and these super successful people, and they're infiltrating my brain on a daily basis, right? A daily basis. 3 videos every single day on this channel. And so bit by bit, it pulls me up. Now I've recognized I still have a long way to go. I still have so much more to learn. I still need to believe in myself even more. And every time I consume more content, it allows me to grow my comfort zone a little bit more. And the funny thing is, all of these moments are little tiny incremental parts of your growth. I couldn't point you to one point in my past where I said, that was the moment that I changed. That was the moment that I had more confidence. But as I studied every day, I could look back 3 months, 6 months, a year and say, wow, I've really changed. I've really grown. I've really learned a lot. But in the daily, from today to yesterday, I'd say I didn't grow at all. And so sometimes on your journeys, you're trying to learn and get better. You may feel like the growth is really slow on a daily basis, but if you keep going, you keep investing, you keep learning, you keep seeking out mentors, you keep trying to get better and improve. Not every day will be amazing, but if you try every day to get better and learn, I can guarantee you that in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, when you look back of the person you've become compared to what you are right now, there'll be a big change. And that's because you continue to invest in yourself. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process to how to create a customized program for you so that you can become world-class at the thing that you want to be world-class at. Step 1, decide what you want to be world-class at. You could be world-class at a lot of things with enough energy, effort, wisdom, pouring in to you, practice, repetition, you can be world-class at something. But what in your core, what is the thing that you need to be world-class at? What is the burning desire in you that you say, I want to be among the best in the world at what? Fill that in. What do you want to be world-class at? Number 2, immerse yourself in that environment. The fastest way to learn a language, the fastest way to learn Japanese is not from a textbook, it's not from going to classes, it's to go to Japan. You need to immerse yourself in the environment. Whatever the thing is that you want to be great at, the more you are around it, people who are doing it, people who are speaking it, people who are living it, the more it will rub off onto you and the faster it will rub off onto you. Now, it can be a physical environment, or it could also be from the content that you're consuming. I get it a lot from my own YouTube videos because I feel like I'm around Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey every single day. And the more you immerse yourself in that environment, the more their mindset, the more their motivation, the more their confidence is going to stick with you to help you go be world class at the thing that you want to be great at. And then step number 3 is practice every single day. You need to practice every single day. It's not enough just to be around it. You need to practice. You got to do. You want to be world class at something, right? That requires daily dedication. The reason why I got better at making my content, my videos, is I've done 6,000 videos. 1,000 videos aren't even public on my channel. We've thrown away more videos than most people ever create on their channel. And it's not because I'm amazing. Go back. Like, I encourage you, go back and look at my first videos. I sucked. It was brutal. It's because I said I want to be great at this thing. And I surrounded myself with people who could help push me and I could learn from. And then I practice every single day. The reason why I pass people who I consider to be a lot better than me at this is because I put in more work. Because when people had a hard time finding time to make 1 video a week, I was doing 3 a day. And if you take that same approach, if you take that same mindset of I'm just going to outwork everybody around me, I'm going to outwork my competition, when they may have a hard time finding time to do that thing that they need to get better at once a week, and you're doing it 3 times a day, you will blow past people who are more naturally talented because you have put in the work to get good at your skill. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below. 1, to get a little bit more credibility. If you're just getting started, people may not know you. There's still a little bit of a cachet around having a book with a major publisher.
Successful people take responsibility for where they are in life.
Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress.
Rule number 3, keep up with the change.
Every time YouTube updates their algorithm, you should be pumped. Anytime Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram makes an update, you should celebrate. Because this is your chance to win as an entrepreneur. Everybody else who's ahead of you, who've made it on the old algorithm before the update happened, they're complaining and wishing that it goes back to the way that it used to be. It's not going back. And the faster you can get on that train and understand how the new algorithm works, you are going to soar past everybody else. So let me give you a couple examples of me, how I do it personally. 1, even you being on this channel. I got advice from Matt Geelan to split up my channel into multiple channels. And so now instead of having 1 big channel, I've got 8, 9, 10 different channels in different languages now. And it's an experiment. Is it working? I don't even know yet. You know, the growth of this channel has been steady and consistent, but it still pales in comparison to my main channel. I'm testing it out. Is it going to be the answer? I don't know. Did I make a big mistake? I don't know. We're going to see, right? The data will prove out, but I'm willing to go off and try it because I know that the way that I'm doing it won't stay consistent forever. And so if it's better to have 3 channels that have 1 video a day instead of 1 channel that has 3 videos a day, I'm open to testing it. I'm open to potentially risking my entire history, 10 years of doing it one way, to say, hey, this new thing's coming along. Let's test it. Next, I'm working with a lot of guys like Mark Cuban, not Mark, but others who are at his level, who I think of as thought leaders, but from a previous era. Like, Mark should be on YouTube. Where is Mark's YouTube channel? He's missing it. He's missing it. He wants to be a thought leader and he's still writing books. Books are great, but you should be not just on TV with Shark's Tank, you should be on YouTube. You should be on the platforms that matter. And so I work with a lot of guys like Mark, helping them not become dinosaurs, helping them stay relevant on the platforms that matter. And a third quick thing that I'm working on is learning Facebook ads. I did not know Facebook ads before I went on my tour earlier this year. And I came back and I said, I'm going to learn this because this is important. Because I had a couple of friends help me with it and it helped, and I got people to come out to my events. I said, this is a vulnerability. I don't know how to do this. I don't necessarily need to be the world's greatest expert at it, but I need to understand it. I need to know how it works because this is a way of marketing that I don't know about. And so whenever something new comes along, and it's going to happen, guys, the new things that are coming along is only going to speed up. There's going to be more new things, not fewer new things. Every time a new thing comes along, you don't necessarily need to be the first one on it. I'm not saying that you don't have to go off and try everything, but when something new is coming along, embrace it because this is the future, right? So many people say, well, I'm not on social media. Oh, that's for the kids. You got to get on it. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to be on social media and not just giving it off to your kid or your niece or your nephew to do. You need to understand it. Doesn't mean you need to be the best at it, but you need to understand it because this is not just where marketing is going. It's where marketing is. Your business is suffering because you don't understand how to play the game. So Rome wasn't built in a day, but it didn't crumble in a day either. If you're not on social, if you're not taking advantage of new technologies, your business is slowly starting to crumble. And I don't want that for you. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I use that I think can help you as well. Step number 1 is say it's the best. It's the best. Just teach yourself. Whenever there's some adversity in your life, something negative happening, this is the best. This is your chance to grow, to learn, to become better, to win more business, to make a bigger impact. It's the best. So when an algorithm update comes along or a new technology comes out and you're feeling frustrated because you spent all this time building up this old thing that is now becoming irrelevant, the best. Tell yourself. Because when you're wallowing and complaining and upset and negative and wishing that it used to be something else, you're not being resourceful. What saying it's the best does is put you in a state of resourcefulness. It says, I'm gonna crush this new thing. This new thing is out, it's popping, I'm gonna destroy it. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna learn everything about it. This is the best. It puts you in a resourceful state. It's super important because when you're trying to solve a problem and you're not in a resourceful state, you're not gonna solve the problem. You're going to complain and dwell and wait and try to make it perfect using the old way, and you're going to get further and further into the cave. You're going to struggle. But as soon as you are facing a problem and you put yourself in that state of resourcefulness, now you're an entrepreneur. You're a genius. You got ideas. You just need to give yourself permission to flick that light bulb on. And you'll come up with solutions, and you'll learn it pretty quickly, and you'll find ways to apply it to your business that your competition is not seeing. That's how you start to win. It's the best. Number 2 is model success. Find people who are doing it. Whenever you don't know what to do, people say, I haven't grown up on social media. Great, I didn't either, right? You didn't grow up with a cell phone either. You didn't grow up liking coffee either. You didn't grow up with a lot of stuff. Amazing. That's the garbage BS excuse for not learning something new. Just because you didn't grow up on it. Amazing. You learn. And so you model success. Find people who are doing it, find people who have won with it, and then see what they did. Model the success. It won't take you all the way, but it'll take you 80% of the way. I recently got asked by Jeremy on my team, who we have a YouTube consulting business together, and he said, are there any young thought leaders that you follow and look up to? And young being like younger than me, so I'm 39. You're looking at the date. There aren't a lot of people who are younger than me that I follow or really care about, because most of the stuff that I'm interested in requires a certain level of experience. But one guy came to mind who is this Instagram guy. And as an Instagram guy, he posts videos on YouTube, and I watch pretty much every video that he puts up. As a thought leader, he kind of sucks. I mean, I need to put every video at 2 times the speed because he takes forever to get to his message. It's super slow. It's just not a great structure for a video because he doesn't know what he's doing yet. It's awesome. It's okay. But he has some Instagram knowledge that I don't have. And so watching him go through, I'll learn something from the video. I'll speed it up to 2 times and hopefully in every video I'll get a nugget that I can use to help make myself better. So being willing to learn from people who don't look like you, being willing to learn from people who are experts at the thing that you want to learn, right? It'll shortcut your path. Again, it doesn't take you all the way to success, but at least 80% of the way. So whenever you don't know what to do, model success. And number 3 is what I call the 2% difference. So the 2% difference is when you first come up with an idea, just take 2% action on it. Don't worry about planning. We spend so much time planning and making the perfect plan and planning how you're going to get to 100% of your goal. That plan's not going to work. Nobody's first plan works exactly as they think it will be. The thing that's missing in your business and your creativity and your ideas is momentum. You need momentum. That's the thing that's missing. And so the 2% difference means don't plan to 100%. Instead, take action on the first 2%. Just get started. Don't worry about what the first 2% is. It doesn't make a difference. You're not going to pick the right perfect one anyway. Just start. And so I look at Facebook ads as an example. When I wanted to learn about Facebook ads, I procrastinated for months on this thing. Procrastinated for months. I wanted somebody else to do it for me. I wanted one of my friends to do it for me, and he was pretty good, but not quite what I needed. And I wanted him to be better at it. I wanted him to be better at it so that I didn't have to do it. And because I had this okay option, I never dove into it to learn. And then I just decided, this is ridiculous. This is months of me not learning, procrastinating, putting it off on something that could be really important for my business, something that I need to learn. And if I'm not on top of it, my business will fall behind. And so I connected with another friend of mine who does this for a living, and I met him in New York. We both happened to be in town, and I said, dude, just walk me through it. Just walk me through it. And we spent, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours at a local Starbucks, and he walked me through the basics. And I know enough. Now I know enough to be dangerous. I know enough of what the platform is and how to run different ads and how to create custom audiences and all of this stuff. Enough to actually start. And then through the starting, you learn, you get better, you adapt, you make progress, you improve, right? You get the skills. But it's that first step that's so difficult, because when you load up the screen and you see something that doesn't look familiar at all, so many options, so many features, it looks overwhelming. Because you're looking at the big picture, looking at the whole plan. Don't worry about that. Learn one thing. Just start. 2% difference. Whatever new technology is coming out, social media platform you want to try out, anything, just apply the 2% difference. You can learn something. Learn one thing about that thing today. Make progress. It'll make a huge difference.
Rule number 4, model success.
The fastest way to accomplish anything in life is to model success. You want business success, you want relationship success, you want financial success, whatever it is you want to learn. Somebody's done it. And the fastest way to learn is to go find somebody, understand what it took for them to become a success, and then apply it to your business, to your life, to your situation. The problem is we feel like we have to do everything ourselves. That you don't know what to do, so I'm going to figure this out, right? I'm creative, I'm a genius, I can figure it out. And yes, you can, but chances are it's going to take you a lot longer. Instead of trying to come up with everything yourself, it's better to build upon what other people have already done. They could take you 80% of the way. It's not going to be 100%, right? If you're trying to get big on YouTube, great, you can copy what I'm doing. But it's not going to take you 100% of the way. It'll take you 80% of the way. Because if all you do is copy me, you're going to be an Evan Jr., which will take you a good chunk, but at best you're going to be a junior Evan. You're never going to be what you could be. And so you need to take what I'm doing, learn from it, but then tweak that last 20% to make it your own. How do you take what other people have done and then tweak that last 20% to make it your own? But modeling success takes you 80% of the way. This is the biggest mistake I made when I was starting up as an entrepreneur, right? I told the story a bunch, but I was 19, I was struggling, I was making $300 a month. I'm too embarrassed to tell my friends that I'm struggling. I'm not having success. I feel like a loser. I feel like I'm not making any money. Not just feel like it, I wasn't making any money. And I tried to think my way out of everything. I was working my face off, right? Like every waking hour almost, I was working. It wasn't for lack of effort. I was just doing the wrong things because I didn't know what to do, because I was just trying a whole bunch of stuff. And then that worst day of my life, when I told my partner that I quit, I just woke up the next day and said, I can't quit because I'm going to regret this. I know I'm going to regret this. If I stop now, I'm going to regret it. I have to find a way to keep going. But the way that I keep going has to change, because what's going on now, this can't keep going on. If you're frustrated with the lack of momentum towards accomplishing your goals in life, like if you're in the same spot that you were a year ago or relatively close, the problem likely could be lack of effort, but is also likely you're just doing the wrong things. You're just focused on the wrong model. And so go find somebody who's done what you want to do. For me, I studied Bill Gates. I was out of pure desperation. I was not a genius when I was 19 and trying to figure out my way. I was at rock bottom. I just said, somebody has built a software company before. This can't be so hard, right? And I looked at Bill Gates and how he started, right? How did he start? 0 to 1. That's what you need to study, because if you look at what people are doing now, one, it's going to be hard to compare yourself to. If you compare yourself to what I'm doing now, I have 20 something people on my team. You can't, don't expect yourself to keep up with what I'm doing right now. Don't expect to keep up with 11 years of experience, right? You're not going to be as good when you first get started. That's okay. But how did I start? How did I keep going? Whoever you're looking at, look at their foundation story, how they started, and chances are you already have more than what they started with. So I look at what I'm doing right now. You know, I want to be on bigger stages. I want to get better, even better as a speaker. I got invited a couple weeks ago to be in Puerto Rico, speaking with Brendan Burchard on his stage. A lot warmer than here in Toronto, Canada. And you know, after the event, I'm like, hey, Brendan, you have any feedback for me? This guy he does more events than almost anybody, right? There's very few people that do more events, and especially at size, at scale, than Brendan Burchard. And so he's giving me feedback. So it's like Kobe learning from Michael. You know, who's Kobe going to learn from? There aren't that many people who he can actually learn from, who've actually done it, who are better than him, who've made their mark, right? Who am I going to learn from? There's not that many people who've done more, who've spoken on bigger stages with consistency, right? Who've been more recognized. There's definitely people, but it's not a lot. It's a tiny handful of people. And so when you get a chance to be with one of them, you want to tap their brain. You want to learn as much as possible. And so whatever you're going through, whatever you're struggling with, somebody's figured it out before. Somebody's gone through it. You are not unique. You're not alone. People have done this. And to sit there in silence, suffering, being in the same spot that you were a year ago, it needs to change, and it needs to change now. All it starts with is you figuring out and going to Google and searching for the person who's been through it. You can go to my YouTube channels. I've got a lot of them. We've got thousands of videos, right? 6,000 videos on the main channel. I don't know how many on this one. Tons of videos. Chances are we profiled somebody who's gone through what you're currently experiencing, and they have a solution. You know, in their struggle, in what may have taken them a decade to figure out, is a hack that you can apply and immediately get results for your business. For me, modeling Bill Gates, I spent all this time trying to build my business and struggling and suffering and not making any deals and taking home a $300 a month paycheck. And then that one strategy that I took from him, which was forming partnerships, very shortly after I landed my first partnership deal for $13,500. And that was the starting point for my company taking off. Because I had, one, a little bit of money. I felt like I was rich, but I had a little bit of money in my account now. And more importantly, I had a model that I could follow. I could do it again and again, close more partnerships around the world. And ever since then, that's 20 years ago. I'm 39, almost 40 now. That was when I was 19. Ever since then, the default answer has been, when I don't know what to do, model success. Somebody's figured this out. And so that challenge you're facing, somebody's figured it out. You just have to commit to going out and finding that person and acknowledge that you don't have to come up with all the answers yourself. You take what they've done, you take 80% of it, and all you have to do is figure out that last 20% to customize it for yourself. If you do that consistently, for all the problems that you're facing in your life and your business right now, everything will change. Everything will change. That's the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be in a year. How much you're willing to model success and apply those lessons courageously to move your life and your business forward. Go get it.
And rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, focus on the efforts, not the result.
Everything in your life changes when you learn to tie your self-worth to your effort instead of the results. Most people tie their self-worth to the results, to winning. You only feel good about yourself when you win. If that's how you think, then you're screwed. Because that person only takes on projects that you know you have a pretty high chance of winning at. And therefore you play small for life. The key is to tie your self-worth to the effort, to trying. And if you do that well, you'll win beyond your wildest imaginations. So let's use me as an example. Look at this video right here, this video. 2 minutes before getting on and making this video, I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. I'm trying to find a reason why I don't have to do this video. Now why? I've done 6,000 of these videos. Do I not love it anymore? No, that's not it. I love doing it. So why am I afraid? Who cares? I've done 6,000. The answer is because I don't want to make it the same way that I've done the past 6,000. I want to push harder. I want to push and do something new. If I was just doing what I've already done, then it'd be easy. Right? If you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it becomes easy, but then you get bored. You start to hate your life. You start realizing that everything is just a photocopy over and over and over and over and over again. And so, how do I push through? I put this pressure on myself to say this video right now has to be the best video that I've ever made. That's my intention going in to every time I'm filming. Most days I don't accomplish it. When you're trying something new and scary and bigger and bolder, most of the time you won't get it. You fail a lot. But I tie my self-worth, my respect to the effort I'm trying. And every now and then you'll make a bit of a breakthrough. You get a bit of a win. And then those accumulate. And then you get another one, and another win, and another win. And so the answer isn't have a big goal and then find a reason why you can't do it. The answer isn't dream big and then convince yourself of some logical excuse for why you're not going to take action. The answer is to push through. The answer is you're scared and you're going to do it anyway. The answer for me is I'm going to make another video. I'm going to try and push myself harder. And I think that's what achievers do, because achievers are failing more than you. Because most days I get up and fail. Most days I'm just failing. It's another failure, another failure, another failure. But the more you fail, the more you're eventually going to win. I'm going to get massive results. Because you tie your self-worth to your ability to get up and try again, and try again, and try again, and pat yourself on the back for the effort you're putting in, not just when you're winning. So how do you do it? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is what I call the pillow test. This is my actual pillow that when I'm in Toronto, I sleep on every single night. And the pillow test is make yourself proud before you hit your head on the pillow, right? Before you go to sleep tonight, before your head hits your pillow, you ask yourself, am I proud of my effort today? Not how much did I win? Not did I get the results I was looking for? Not did I get my 1,000,000 views or close that big sale? Are you proud of your effort? Are you proud of your effort? Can you put your head on your pillow tonight and say, man, I am proud of the effort that I put in? That's the test. That's the test for tonight. That's your test for tomorrow night, and the night after that, and the night after that, and the night after that. And the more that you get a yes, to say, yeah, heck yeah, I'm proud of my effort. You do that, you watch your business explode. Step number 2 is expect to suck at the start. Anytime you're trying something new, expect to suck. Don't expect to just try something new and it's amazing. This is where a lot of people fall down. You've had some success, you're at a certain level, you're going to try something new. Before you go up, you're probably going to go down. That's part of the experimentation process. It doesn't mean you suck as a human. It just means that you don't have the skill sets, the talents yet. You're trying something new. I haven't brought props in on my videos before. That was a new test. I expect it to suck. Maybe on an off chance it works. Amazing, I learned from it. But when you're trying something, it's brand new, you don't have the confidence in it yet, you're still figuring out the path, expect to suck. When you put so much of your worth into expecting to be great the first time out, here's what happens. You try one thing, you record one video, you watch it back, say, man, that sucked, and then you never make a video again. Meanwhile, if you just kept doing it, you would eventually be awesome. You would eventually crush it. Go back and watch my first videos. Go back to my main channel. Go back to the beginning, see where I started. I've kept them all up so you can see the journey, the progress of how much I sucked at the very beginning. It took me 350 videos until I wasn't embarrassed by my content. I was so embarrassed I couldn't watch it back. 350 videos, but I kept going. The problem is people are quitting on things too soon. You quit on something too soon because you're not getting immediate results. Expect to suck. It doesn't mean that you suck as a human. It just means you don't have the skills yet. And how do you get the skills? By practicing. And number 3 is ask yourself, what would the most bold version of you do? I got this question when I was talking to my video guy, Danny, who came to me with a really important personal problem in his life at the time. And I said, what would the most bold version of you do? It just came out. Man, I love that. And anytime he doesn't know what to do, he asks himself that question. What would the most bold version of me do? It's a great question because it allows you to push through a lot of your fears, a lot of your insecurities, to force yourself to be bold. And you want to be bold. You're meant to be bold. You're meant to create amazing, wonderful things. You want that big vision of yours to come true. You are bold. You are courageous. But we don't live in that land very often. And so if you ask that question, what would the most bold version of you do today? What it does is wash away a lot of those fears and insecurities and gives you the answer that you're actually looking for.
Finding your calling is easy. I think it's crazy that people don't know how to find their calling. I think it's among the most important questions that you need to figure out in life. Like, how are you living your life without knowing why you're here, what your calling is, how you're going to serve, the message you have, the one impact that you want to have? It's crazy. Like, you can't live a happy, fulfilled life until you know what that is. And it's not that difficult. And it just blows my mind, because when you figure it out, when Will Smith figures it out, when all these super insanely talented people figure it out, the world's gonna change. Can you imagine a world where everybody has found their calling and is living it? I want to live in that world. And so that's why I'm trying to create that world. Here's how you do it. It's actually not that difficult. It's in my new book, Built to Serve, link in the description, go get it. This is the overview. One, it starts with understanding that you're built to serve, right? There's a reason why I called the book Built to Serve. You are built to serve. Your calling comes from helping other people. It's not to make just a ton of money. It's not just to be able to say, hey, here I am on the beach, right? That's not your calling. That doesn't make you happy. Those are short-lived moments. Your calling comes from serving and helping other people. You are built to serve. Your happiness will come from helping other people because you are built to serve. 3 steps to figure it out. 1, your who, your one word, most important core value. Mine is believe. What is yours? Look through all of the things that you love that's made you come alive. Your favorite movie, your favorite book, what you love about your parents. Look to who your favorite teacher was of all time. Why? It's not because Mrs. Jones taught you grade 8 math. It's because she made you feel a certain way. What? What did she make you feel? Why? Right? Make that connective tissue between all the things that make you come alive. And then it makes it easy for you to figure out what you love more than anything else, what your single most important core value is. Mine is belief. Thus, everything I make is around belief. The people in my life, the content I make, the products that I create, all of it has to be around belief. This video, the intention is belief. I want you to believe in yourself more. Maybe I don't achieve it, but it's my intention every single time. And so when you figure out your most important core value, and then you start to organize your life and your business around it, it has a gigantic impact on your life and what you do, how you feel. If I was around people all day long who didn't believe, that'd be a really toxic, negative, hard place for me to win in. But since I know that I'm about belief, I attract people who also love the message of believe. It's why we have such an amazing community. It's why all the videos I put up are positive. I'm not putting up videos trashing somebody, showing them at their worst, their weakest moments, why they suck. Those videos would probably get more views, to be honest. But I don't, because it's not about belief. Same thing for you. What is your single most important core value? So look through all the things you love and then try to draw a line. Write down 3 descriptive keywords. So what you loved about your parents, what you loved about your favorite teacher, what you loved about your favorite movie, your favorite book, all of it. 3 descriptive keywords for each, and then see which word pops up over and over and over and over again. That's your one word, most important core value. You have to figure it out. That will never get old. I'm going to believe in people for life. Next, your why. It's who, I, how. Your why. Your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggled the most with as a human, you felt the most worthless, most insecure, most disposable as a person. That thing, you want to help other people not suffer as much as you did. So Will Smith trying to figure out his calling? It's not that hard. Go back and find the single moment where you felt the most worthless, most disposable, lowest as a human. What was that moment? Your purpose in life is to help other people not feel that way as well. I was meeting a woman a couple days ago on the beach, and she was saying, I felt so many times where I felt low. There's no just one moment, so many times. I go, okay, great, talk to me about them. And one of them was an ex-partner leaving her for her best friend. One of them was her father not treating her well and having some abuse in the family. It's like, okay, great. Let's just take those two. What's common between those two? Different moments in your life, different people around you. What's common? And she took 5 seconds to think about it, then said, I felt disposable. And then she had this pause. And then she came up and hugged me. Like, Every moment that I felt the lowest in my life, I felt disposable by other people. That's your why. That's your purpose. To help other people not feel disposable. And you'll love that for life. Then she got all emotional, thanked me. It's not that difficult. Draw a line. If there's not just one moment, draw a line between all of the negative things that you felt the worst as a human. Maybe other people didn't care about it, but you did. When you go home and you felt worthless, why? What happened? What's the common feeling between them? Your purpose for the rest of your life is to help other people not feel the same way. That's your calling, and that will never get old. That's the who, that's the why, then the how. How you got out of it, how you suffered through it, what you did, the techniques is teachable. It's a recipe. You can show other people how to do it too. You're still on your path. You're not done growing. You're not done learning. You never want to be. I'm not done growing, learning. Will Smith is not done learning, growing. You're never done. You don't want to be, but you know more than you did 5 years ago. And there's lots of people who currently are what you were 5 years ago. They currently are. They're living in the hell that you experienced. They're right there, and they feel hopeless. And you feel there's no path. There's no exit. There's no plan. They don't know what to do. They're lost. You represent hope. And you can touch them in a way that nobody else can. You can touch them in a way that I can't, that Will Smith can't. Because you've been through it where I haven't and Will Smith hasn't either. You've been through it. And so how you got out of it is inspiration and is a recipe you can teach, because most people who went through what you went through don't get out of it. They still are stuck. For years or decades, they're stuck. So it's the who, the why, and the how. Find your purpose. Find your calling. Be set for life on a purposeful, happy, fulfilled life. That's the path. And I hope you follow it.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video, because you are awesome.
And if you want to learn how to leverage your guilt to achieve success, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
The antidote to guilt is action. If you feel guilt, it's because you are not proud of yourself, because something happened and you did not react or act in the way that you wished